and welcome to service. I'm so happy to have Gary Lynn Floyd streaming from Reno and Reverend Joan Steadman from Oakland. And we have Margie is our Zoom tech, and the meditation will be led by Juliet today. Readings are by Marty, and announcements are by Linda. So why don't we bring this service in with some music from Gary. And Gary, I'm going to spotlight you, giving a warm Zoom welcome to Gary Lynn Floyd.
All right, thank you. Great to be back with you today. Sunshine, your eyes, dewdrops and dragonflies. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. You can sing that with me if you want. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. So grateful. Cut grass, jasmine bloom, honeysuckle in your room. Oh yeah, I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 The shadows I conceal endeavor to reveal another part of me, embracing all that I perceive. Yeah. Your voice, waterfall, thrush song, coyote call. Oh yeah, I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 So grateful. Yeah.
Gary,
Thank
that
you.
was wonderful. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
I'm looking for Juliet. I'm just gonna search for you on Zoom. Sorry, I lost you. Are you still here, Juliet?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I've got to find, oh, you're listed as, there you go. I'm gonna spotlight you for today's meditation.
All right. Well, can you guys hear me? Is everything working? Okay.
Yeah, everything's
awesome.
good because I just couldn't
Okay.
find you because you were listed under iPhone instead of Juliet. So I
I
find you
got
in
a new
alphabetical order.
I got a new iPhone, so I'll have to change that.
Okay,
All
you want
right.
to slide?
Sure.
There you go.
All right. Well, now's the time that we get to just be still together to connect to that place within ourselves that is eternal, untouchable by outside circumstances, untouchable by history or the future. And this moment, this time of stillness to connect to that place within ourselves that is the most divine. And so for just a moment, we'll close our eyes together. Just beginning to feel, just by closing the eyes, that we get to come into our inner world where the invisible becomes visible, where there are no limits, no boundaries, only expansion. And so, this time of being together, we are willing to listen, to be open, to be available, to be present right now, right here, and to be in community with each other in the stillness. And so during this meditation, I always like to have a focus, something that can bring me back when I find myself in the future or the past, or involved in a story or thought. So you can use something for yourself that is your anchor, that works for you, something like coming back to your breath, some aspect of your breath, whether it's where you feel your breath in your body, maybe the sensation of the air leaving your nostrils, coming into your nostrils, maybe that moment of pause in between the exhale before the new inhale. Can also use a quality of God or a quality of the Spirit, like peace, love, joy, harmony, grace. Maybe a word that you are working with right now, a quality that you're working with right now. And just saying that word slowly to yourself and allowing the vibration of that quality to become your anchor to the present moment. Sometimes I'll just say the word God, which is what I call God, but maybe your word for spirit or presence, awareness. Just say that and allow that to fully bring you back into the vibration of truth. And we just go about this practice with a gentleness for our being, ourselves. And as we move through the silence, anytime we notice, we become aware of being somewhere else but right here, right now, we lovingly guide ourselves back with our anchor. We do this as many times as we need to, allowing grace for this practice. And so we'll just spend a few moments together in the stillness, allowing the presence, allowing God as us to connect right now. In these first few moments of stillness, it may feel busier in your mind or in your body. And if it does, just allow yourself to be exactly as you are. Know that right now, right where you are, whatever the experience is perfect. We just breathe into that and allow it to be. Noticing where is your attention. So, as we begin to just close this moment of stillness, moment of silence, in this moment, we open our hearts to gratitude. Gratitude and thanksgiving for this community, for Reverend Joan, for Gary, for David, for all beings present at this service. We are so grateful. And grateful that we get to practice together. We get to be in community together. So we'll finish our meditation today with just a breath. We'll take an inhale breath together. And as you easily exhale out, holding that space of openness, that space of gratitude for all that is about to unfold as this service. And as you're ready, just allowing your eyes to open, bringing your vision back into the space.
Thank you, Juliet. And Marty, I'm going to spotlight you for today's readings.
Julia, thank you for that beautiful meditation and for setting the space for us for this service today. Today's reading is from the letters of Myrtle Fillmore. All of us, sooner or later, come to the place in our development where we are no longer satisfied to go on living the old life without the knowledge or our oneness with God, the source of our being. Sometimes when we reach this point in our soul's progress, we do not know at first just what is taking place. We may become restless and dissatisfied. We may even be tempted to think that our good has gone from us. But just as surely as there is God, the one presence and one power, we shall find that all is well, and that we are just going from one room, as it were, into another, larger and lighter room. As we leave old circumstances, beliefs, habits, and desires behind, and seek to understand and to enter into the larger life, which is ever opening to us, we are filled with a sense of peace, freedom, and assurance that all is well. And so it is. And please join me in our opening affirmation. There is only one power and one presence active in the universe and in my life. God in everything and everyone. The one infinite source of love, abundance, harmony, wholeness, intelligence, and joy is expressing as me.
Thank you so much, Marty. And Reverend Joan, I'm going to spotlight you. We're so glad to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, David, for having me back. Thank you, Gary, for your beautiful music. I was so excited to hear that you were the musician today. And Juliet, the meditation was just so deep and wonderful. And thank you, Marty, for a beautiful, beautiful reading. Just thank you all. You create such a beautiful space into which I enter when I come here. So thank you so much. So the topic today is, what is the topic? Is welcoming it all. So lately, at my center, I've been talking about inclusivity in the golden age. And so it's been on my mind and my heart a lot to talk about that. And I know our teaching is all about inclusivity. Our teaching is all about oneness, right? That there is one life, that life is the life of spirit, that life is the life of each and every one of us, and that life is the life of every single thing, every single of our planet, of the plants and the foliage and the mountains and the landforms. It's just the oneness is everything, including all things. There's nothing outside of the infinite. Everything is made of the substance of the divine. So I've been really focusing on that a lot when I'm speaking. And today, what I want to focus on, even more than that, well, not more than that, because really to be able to see the oneness, to be able to see clearly, I think in the meditation, Julie was mentioning to see the invisible, to see with invisible eyes. I'm not sure exactly how she said it, but that's how we want to see. We want to see as spirit sees. Our eyes can be the eyes of the divine. And so that's how I want to, I'll just speak for myself, that's how I want to view everything. And what it requires of me, first and foremost, is that I be able to include all parts of myself. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is including every part of ourself in that equation, which means the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, whatever it is, the mistakes we think we've made, the imperfections we think are there. And to begin with, I want to mention that the way we look at ourselves sometimes, or I should say the way I looked at myself a lot in the past, is from a standpoint of duality, that there is right and wrong, there's good and bad, there's perfect and imperfect. And of course, I was always, as being a spiritual person, I'm always supposed to be on the side of right, on the side of the perfect, and so forth. And what I've realized on my journey is that to include it all is what I'm called to do. Because as long as I am focusing on those aspects of myself that I don't like, which might be fear, which might be anger, which might be imperfections, which might be old stories. I'll get into that in a minute. Old stories we tell ourselves, that when I'm focused on that, then what do I see in you? I tend to see that in you too. I tend to see those unhealed parts of myself in you, instead of seeing the truth of who and what you are. And I think most of us have been in this teaching long enough to know that the way we see each other is from our own perceptions. You know, I was sharing this morning in our service that the reality is every single thing that comes my way is really a reflection of myself. Every single thing that comes my way is something for me to work with. I can either like it because, ooh, it makes me feel really good, or it makes me feel uncomfortable. And if I feel uncomfortable and I have an unhealed part of myself, then what do I project onto that other person? I project perhaps anger, I might project fear, I might project anxiety, whatever. But you all know what I'm talking about, because you're all brilliant. I know that. And so it's including every part of the self, and not casting any of it aside, not pushing any of it away. And for me, that's a big piece of work, and that's a big part, if not the major part, of our spiritual journey, that we get to be with, we get to feel what we're feeling, we get to be with it, we get to witness it, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and we get to let it be released. And I'm not saying make it go away or even letting it go, just simply by the fact of our witnessing what we're feeling, what we're sensing, what we don't like about ourselves, by just witnessing it. And by witness, I mean I view it from the standpoint of the divine, that I view it from that perspective. So this morning, I'm going to come back to a lot of things, as you can see. So this morning, I woke up at 4:15 this morning, and it was one of those mornings when I couldn't go back to sleep again. So what I do when I can't go back to sleep again is I meditate. I just go into meditation and prayer, mostly meditation. And this morning was particularly deep, where I had such a deep realization of, and you all know what this is like, a deep realization of the oneness of spirit as my life, really feeling it grounded more than ever before, and remembering what Greg Braden talks about in one of his books, The God Code, and he talks about it in some YouTubes that he does, YouTube presentations. He talks about our DNA, and that encrypted in our DNA are the words, God eternal in the body. God eternal in the body. And it really captured me. I've known that. I mean, I've heard him say it, and I've meditated on. And do you know what it's like when you get captured at a deeper level with something? Literally, it takes you over. And so for about 2 hours, I'm just God eternal in the human body, and just getting a sense of what that is. That and by the way, he mentioned in the book The God Code, he talks about it scientifically, that this is a scientific fact, and that he is a scientist as well as a spiritual teacher, and that he mentions I'm not going to get into the science of it because I'm not a scientist. And honestly, I got the book and I started reading it. I thought I do not understand much of what this is saying in terms of scientific terms. However, I know what it's saying spiritually. I know what it's saying. Is it right in our DNA? It tells us who we are. It tells us that we are God beings, that we are made in the spiritual image and likeness of the divine, out of the very substance of pure spirit. Wow. And in our affirmative prayer, that's what we affirm all the time. We affirm our oneness. We affirm that which is the truth of us. And so taking that, anchoring that really powerfully within ourselves in our meditations. And I can't emphasize enough the importance of a daily meditation practice, even if it seems like it's going nowhere. Do any of you ever experience your meditation practice as seeming flat? As seeming perhaps I can't go deep enough? Yeah, I mean, to this day, and I've been doing it since I was off and on since I was 15 years old. And to this day, I still sometimes have mornings where, and I confess, where it's just, oh, my mind gets so captured by so many things. And so the practice, of course, is to just witness that and to bring it back, bring it. Sometimes it seems like my whole meditation is bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And other times, like this morning, it's just like, whoa, this is beautiful. And of course, my job is not to be attached to any of it, you know, because the tendency is to want to, ooh, I want to have another meditation like that. The tendency is to just be with what is in the moment and then let it be. I'm rambling all over the place, so excuse me, but I forgot to look at what time I started. Anyway, yeah, so I'm saying all that to say that when we can witness those parts of ourselves that are uncomfortable, when we can witness those parts of ourselves that perhaps we feel anxious about, perhaps we're afraid of, perhaps it's fear itself that has us captured or imprisoned, whatever those parts of us are. For a lot of people, it's mistakes they've made. For a lot of people, it's the way they were raised. For a lot of people, it's all that they've been programmed with. I'd say for most of us, we've all been programmed by this society, by this culture, by our parents, by our teachers, all of that stuff. We've all been programmed in some way, shape, or form. And so we get to look at those things. They come up, and they don't come up as, I don't even call it lessons so much, as they come up as the way I'm seeing it today is they come up as messengers. That this fear is a messenger to me. What's it trying to tell me? This fear is a messenger. It's like, you know, sometimes in New Thought, we see angels as messengers. You know, we could think of these things that are in our house, or, you know, Rumi has this great poem called The Guest House, and all of these things that come into our awareness, that come into our house, that enter us really at the emotional level, and they get stuck in our subconscious. And so lots of time, when I first got into New Thought, the tendency was to try to figure out what all that stuff was and to dig it up. And I noticed for myself that proved to be pretty futile, to try to dig it up and then pray it away, basically. And what I have discovered is really helpful for me, and I've utilized it so much in my life, is to look at what's happening right now, what's going on within me right here and right now. And sometimes it's ease and it's comfort and it's peace. Lots of times it's that. And then there are other times when there's something rumbling. You know what I mean by a rumbling? There's a rumbling going on inside. And maybe it's so subtle I don't even notice as I'm going around my day. However, I notice when I'm sitting still. I think that's why a lot of people don't like to sit still, because in sitting still, I have to come to terms with everything within myself. And so as I'm sitting still in my meditation, and as I become practiced in this, then I'm simply a witness to what's going on. And what's witnessing it? The divine self, the eternal self in the body. That is witnessing the stuff that's going on within me, within Joan's experience. You know, it's not the divine Joan's experience, but it's the human Joan's experience. It sounds dualistic. I don't mean it to sound that way. But so I'm witnessing, and I'm noticing, like I might notice, oh, I'm really feeling anxious right now. This thing is coming up. Maybe today, maybe I'm feeling a little bit anxious because I'm speaking twice today, and I don't quite know exactly what I'm going to say. And lots of times that happens on a Sunday morning because I plan the talks and then they never turn out the way I think they're going to. And it's a beautiful thing. And sometimes there's a tinge of anxiety about it. So what I do is I just sit there in meditation and I witness. I notice the anxiety. I notice what it feels like. And by merely witnessing, without, you aren't judging it, you aren't having an opinion about it, you aren't saying it's good, bad, right, wrong. All you're doing is witnessing it. And as I witness it, what I notice is I give it spaciousness. You see, as long as if I'm trying to repress it or get rid of it, then what am I doing? I'm constricting it. I'm like putting all this constriction around it, and it can't move. It just sits there and probably gets even more deeply embedded. But when I'm just witnessing, I'm just noticing, okay, here's anxiety, or here's fear, or here's anger, or here's jealousy, or whatever is up. Or here's that old part of me that beats myself up about doing things. Or here's that old part of me that doesn't feel like enough. Or here's that old part of me that thinks I don't belong. You know, I mean, all of this stuff can come up. And we can be so anchored in our awareness of who we really are that we simply behold from that vantage point. I am the perfection of the infinite. I am God in the flesh. I am God eternal in the body. I am all that God, not all, God is all that I am. I don't want to say I'm all that God is. Don't want to get that backwards. You know, God is all that I am. I'm made in the spiritual image and likeness. So as I behold from that point of view, I can behold without judgment. Now, what does this require? I think, for me anyway, it required meditation practice, not just doing it when that stuff comes up, but practicing every day, anchoring in the awareness of my life is the life of God. My life is the life of God, bottom line. I spent years, and that was my main focus in meditation, and it really still is. And so when it comes time to witness, when this stuff comes up, then I've been doing the work. I've been preparing the foundation. It's like preparing the foundation for a house. You know, you just don't go starting to bring the wood in and everything without laying the foundation and without putting in the electrical stuff and without doing all that, however that all works, you know, but you lay a foundation. And so your daily meditation practice is laying the foundation. And it's as simple as God is my life, or whatever, like Juliet led us in the beginning. You can focus on any number of things. Just focus, be awake, be aware, have a focus point, and then when you drift, I won't say if because most of us drift, then you bring yourself back to that focus point. And it is practice. Yes, it is. And, you know, sometimes you have wonderful, beautiful meditations like I had this morning, and sometimes not so much. Sometimes it's a lot of work. Not work so much as just practice. So we look at these things within ourselves, and some things may come up that we just don't want to look at. They've been buried for so long. And yet we can have the courage to do it because we know who we are. We know I am the divine, period. I'm the divine, period. Nothing else to it. You know, people may have tried to tell me in the past that I'm not. People may now scoff at that. The truth is, each of us is that divine essence. Each of us is that. And can you imagine a world where everybody knows who they are? Can you imagine that? I think about that. Even if only 50% knew exactly who they are as divine beings, how different it would be. Because when we know that, we can't purposely harm other people. We can't purposely harm Mother Earth. We can't be unconscious, you know, and lots of times when we're unconscious, we harm people or the earth or animals or whatever without even being aware of it. But we become so conscious, our consciousness becomes so finely tuned that we don't even need a moral or ethical code. We simply are being that presence in the world. You know, the 10 Commandments are a great moral code, but at a certain point, like when Jesus, Yeshua came along, you know, he's like, the only commandments now are love God and love your neighbor as yourself. Because in his consciousness, he didn't need those moral codes anymore. And I think that's the consciousness that a lot of people are in now and are coming into. It's a powerful time on the planet. You were all talking, you know, about the solar eclipse and the sun and all the things that are going on. And yes, it's all interrelated. It all affects us and we affect it, because there's only one life, and that life is the life of God. So how does this work? You know, practicality. How does it work to be the witness, to be willing to be with whatever is up for us? And sometimes it happens in relationships. And so I want to give you an example of how it has worked in my life. My older daughter was really a handful in her teen years, and I'm not the only one I know that's had that experience. She was particularly challenging, drugs and alcohol and abusive, all kinds of things. And she would be enraged about things. And I, as a mother, I honestly didn't know how to even begin to work with that, but I worked with it. And the inner work, the spiritual work, was that I had learned about witness consciousness. This was many, many years ago. And I just began to witness when things would erupt, when she would get in a rage. And because what I did then was to get in a rage too, which really shocked me, because I never thought of myself as a person with rage. But she was the instrument that let me see my rage. Do you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have known it was there, frankly, because nobody else has ever pushed that button in that particular way. So I would just witness, and I would witness not so much her rage, I would witness my own. I would notice what's going on. And at first, sometimes I had to leave the room. I'd just say, excuse me, I've got to go to the bathroom or whatever. And I would just sit and be with it. And it took a while. It took a long time. And I kept practicing and practicing and practicing. And then at a certain point, what happened was that I noticed that I just wasn't becoming enraged so much anymore. And I noticed then that I began to be aware of when the energy of the rage started. You know, you understand what I'm saying? It hadn't even started yet, but I could feel when the energy was starting, because I was witnessing, because I was aware. And eventually it did pass. It did pass. Now, you know, it took her a few years to get straightened up and everything. And it took me a few years to figure how to work with it. And the spiritual work was being done, And so what we do when we witness, it's such a powerful practice, is we shine the light of the divine on whatever that area of our life is. Because we are being spirit witnessing a part of itself. We are being spirit witnessing this energy within us, because this energy within us is actually divine energy, you know, that it's been transmuted into the fear, into the anxiety, into whatever it is. It's been transmuted into that just because of things that we've been untold, because of our subconscious activity. And so that energy can be transmuted back into the divine. I've never quite said it that way before, so I hope this is correct. Anyway, you can feel for yourself if it's correct or not. Anyhow, powerful, powerful. Be the witness. And then it's not that we can't do affirmative prayer. I just say don't rush to it the minute something comes up. Because if you rush to it, it's kind of like you're saying no to the messenger. It's kind of like, I'm going to get rid of this as fast as I can, rather than I'm going to sit with this for a minute. You don't have to sit with it all day, but just sit with it, be aware of it, and then you can do your affirmative prayer. Then, you know, it's great to combine the witnessing and the affirmative prayer. But you all get what I'm saying. Let the messenger speak to you. Ask the messenger. Pretend it's your master teacher. Anger, Master teacher, anger, what do you have to tell me today? Master teacher, fear, what do you have to tell me today? Master teacher, this old way of not feeling enough, what do you have to tell me today? So you can just be so wide open to it because it's all spirit. And all of these messengers are here for the evolution of our soul. How beautiful is that? Our soul created all of it. Our soul created all of these messengers because this is the way we grow and unfold to our greatest yet to be. And we all do it in varying, what do I want to say? Degrees, varying degrees. So the message today is just really just welcome everything that comes into your consciousness. Welcome everything that comes into your emotional body, your mental body. Just welcome it. Don't push it away, and welcome it with awareness. Awareness. We don't want to wallow in it, right? That's the last thing we want to do. And I guarantee you, my experience is that as I witness, I'm not going to wallow. I'm just, because I give it space. I give it the spaciousness to move, to be able to transmute itself to the, perhaps for fear it would be the energy of love or whatever, but it transmutes itself. And it's a beautiful thing. I think I want to, as I end, I think I have, yes, I have the reading, The Guest House. I'm going to read it to you. And then, David, do I do a prayer then after that?
Anything you'd like to do?
Cool. Okay. So here's the poem, The Guest House by Rumi. Just listen to this, and I invite you to listen to it with your heart. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So, and another Rumi quote as I go into prayer, which is my favorite. It's on all my emails. Beyond all wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. Meet me there. Beyond all wrongdoing and right doing, no matter what's going on in your consciousness, no matter what your human opinion might be in that field and meet them in that place of divine knowingness. And with that, let's turn within to prayer. So how grateful I am. How grateful I am to be in this beloved community, these beloved beings of light, of love. How grateful I am to know that God is all that there is. One presence, one power, one life, one love, one intelligence. That quantum field out of which everything emerges, the great all in all. I'm grateful to know this and to know that this life is who and what I am. This life is the very life of each and every one of us, every being within the sound of my voice, and all being everywhere. For in truth, there is only one, the I that is we, the I am presence that is bursting forth in all of creation as every being that is, as everything that is. And so I simply speak a word right now, a word knowing that that divine I am presence within each one of us is that place of beautiful, pristine consciousness that welcomes every experience and that knows how to dissolve every experience that is unwanted. And those that are of truth, those experiences that are of truth, they are anchored, they are magnified, and claim and know for each and every one that love, peace, joy, harmony, abundance, intelligence, creativity, order, beauty, all of these qualities all of the good that we can possibly imagine is already present within us. And I claim by the power of this word is activated to a greater degree right here and right now. I give thanks for this beloved community. I know it is blessed. I know that David, its spiritual leader, is blessed and very well blessed, that this community thrives, prospers, and grows to its greatest yet to be, as is every individual here. So I'm simply knowing God is active in every life, and everything is working together for good as our souls evolve to their greatest yet to be. And as we evolve, all of humanity evolves, all of consciousness evolves, and the world is blessed. I give thanks for this. I call it good. I call it already accomplished. In the infinite field, it is done. And so I let it be now, and so it is. Amen.
I think I shared this song with you last time I was here, but Joan, thank you so much for that talk, and it just seems like it's right in with what you just said. I felt like when I wrote this, it was my eternal self talking to my human self. I'll remember who you are. Do you remember you are love at the heart of your being? Do you remember there is more to this life than what you're seeing? Let me remind you, you are beautiful by far. You've nothing left to prove when you remember who you are. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. Remember who you are. Do you remember there is peace in the middle of this storm? Do you remember you have all you need inside to keep you warm? Let me remind you, you're the dust from a star. Your essence is revealed when you remember who you are. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. You are stronger than you think you are, braver than you seem. This life that lies ahead of you is like nothing you have ever seen. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. Remember who you are. Remember who you are.
Thank you so much, Gary. Oh, what a gift. Let's just go within for a moment of prayer now as we just seal Reverend Joan's message and Gary's music and everything that you've heard today, the meditation, the messages. And I'm taking away that the God code is codified into our cells, into our DNA. It's codified into our consciousness. And that includes all the parts of us, all the struggles that we might call messages, and the things that are master teachers, our anger, our fear, whatever is there, we can call it a master teacher. And I love that so much. So I give thanks for this teaching today. I give thanks for the insights today. So I turn the power of this community prayer to those who are in need of prayer. Right now, I'd like us to think of Don, who is in the hospital right now. He's been there for a few days. Let's just hold him in prayer for wholeness, for healing, activating right now in this moment, for strength for Deanna. We also pray for Jennifer's stepmom, Jenna, and anyone else that you'd like to bring into this prayer field. I also invite you to bring any places that are flashpoints in the planet. I'd like us all to pray for what continues in Ukraine and Gaza and Sudan. And right here in this country, all the flashpoints that are happening. I see a higher vision. I see the highest vision, and I see that right now. God doesn't know time. It just knows energy. So I'm so grateful for this energy. I speak this truth unto the law. It's blessed, and so it is. So I'm going to share my screen. And I invite you to say with me our love offering prayer, because we are so grateful for continuing into our 75th year, and we're going to begin our awesome fundraiser within a few weeks. And we really we're doing well as a community, and we rely on your offerings. We need your love offerings. And we know that your generosity is returned to you multiplied abundantly. So let's say together, divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. Our generous love offerings do good work in our community and beyond, and they are returned to us, multiplied abundantly. And Linda, I'm going to spotlight you for some announcements.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Reverend Joan and Gary, for bringing all of your inspiration to us. We look forward to having you back again soon. The Daniel Namod concert ticket page is up. Daniel will be with us for an in-person concert on June 22nd at 7:30 p.m. The last time he visited in person, it was truly spectacular, so don't miss it. Join us at our midweek Sacred Space gathering this Wednesday night at 7 p.m. This week, David will lead us for a 20-minute ritual of prayer and meditation. Unity is sustained by generous monthly donations like yours. To donate, just go to the donation page on our website. We are so very grateful. And back to you, David.
Thank you, Linda. Let's say our closing prayer together, and then Gary is going to sing us out, and then we'll end the service with a prayer by Marty. So say with me, the light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And Gary, I'm going to spotlight you.
All right. I just leave you with this blessing as we go our way tonight. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free. Share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be with you. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Love to you, Gary. I just placed everybody in gallery view. I invite you to do the same. And before we pray out, just have an appreciation for everyone who has chose to show up here for their spiritual practice. And let's just give some love out to Gary and to Reverend Joan and to yourself for being here, for showing up for your spiritual evolution, for your conscious evolution. I'm so grateful for that. And then we close with Marty, will you lead us in a prayer?
Ooh, as we end this beautiful service with with that beautiful meditation, with the music from Gary, it's just absolutely wonderful. And our message from Reverend Joan. We just say thank you. And we remember to remember who we are. We remember to remember whose we are. We remember to remember that we are beautiful children of God and that we have that power to step out and just to be. And we take that out into this world and we shine that light wherever we go and share that light with whomever we come across. And we just do that with gratitude, love, and all that is within us, that is given to us by the divine creator. And I just speak these words, I release them into law, knowing that they do not go unheard. And with that, together we say, and so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.